Todo mundo viu o SWU, festival espetacular que teve, e nós recebemos num dia, foi no domingo, a presença do Dave Matthews com a Regina Spektor. Não pudemos trazer a plateia, fizemos um espaço reduzido, uma conversa e um show que vai ser dividido em 2 partes. A gente vai ver agora a primeira. Vamos lá, por favor. Bom, muito bem. Nós estamos recebendo hoje 2 grandes personalidades internacionais que participaram do SWU. E, em primeiro lugar, vou apresentar Dave Matthews para a gente. Muito bem, podemos aplaudir? O SWU, ele traz uma ideia, uma mensagem ecológica, de sustentabilidade. Eu sei que você é envolvido nisso. Você acha que o mundo tem jeito, tem alguma maneira ainda da gente recuperar o que for perdido, o que foi perdido?
Well, I'm hopeful that we can recover. I'm certainly not confident, not the way that we behave at the moment toward the planet, but I'm hopeful. So if we all get to be part of the conversation about looking after our planet, then maybe. We have to hope, right?
Uhum. Agora, você acha que, de alguma maneira, o político, de um modo geral, no mundo, ele começa a ter também uma clareza a respeito dessa questão? Ou não será através de uma via política que as coisas vão mudar?
Well, I think that one of our biggest obstacles, one of the things we have to overcome is our leaders' unwillingness, our politicians' unwillingness to act aggressively, especially in democratic countries, because they're afraid of doing anything that might help them lose their jobs. So I think the self-interest and ambition cloud the minds of most of our politicians, to put it nicely. I never cease to be disappointed by our politicians, certainly in the States. They continue to break our hearts, I think, and unfortunately, I think we will have to lead in this fight, and hopefully at some point they'll follow, because, of course, without political will, I think hope is very difficult.
Uhum, muito bem. First for us, please.
See how I do.
Wanna pack your bag, something small. Just take what you need and we'll disappear. Without a trace, we'll be gone, gone. The moon and the stars, they will follow the car. And then when we get to the ocean, we're gonna take a boat to the end of the world. All the way to the end of the world. Oh, and when the kids are old enough, where we'll teach them to fly. You and me together, we could do anything, baby. You and me together, yes, yes. The two of us together, we could do anything, baby. You and me together, yes, yes. You and I, we're not tied to the ground, not falling but rising like rolling around. Eyes closed above the rooftops, eyes closed, we're gonna spin through the stars. Our arms as wide as the sky, we're gonna ride the blue all the way to the end of the world. All the way to the end of the world. Oh, and when the kids are old enough where we'll teach them to fly. You and me together, we could do anything, baby. You and me together, yes, yes. The two of us together, we could do anything, baby. You and me together, yes, yes. We can always look back at what we did. Always a memory of you and me, baby. But right now it's you and me forever, girl. And you know we could do better than anything that we did. You know that you and me could do anything. Sound real right. You and me together could do anything, baby. You and me together, yes, yes. The two of us together, we could do anything, baby. You and me together, yes, yes. The two of us together, yes, yes. You and me together, we could do anything, baby. Just something small till we reach the end of the world.
Muito bom, muito bem. Muito bom, ótimo. Obrigado.
Thank you.
Obrigado. Obrigado. Regina já está aí? Oh, Regina, please, por favor. Hey, come on. Você vem de uma família que o pai foi fotógrafo, a mãe professora de música. Eu queria que você falasse um pouco sobre as influências literárias, sobre o que você leu Ezra Pound, você leu Shakespeare, você leu Virginia Woolf. Isso, de alguma música, de algum jeito, influenciou no trabalho que você faz, musical, a leitura, a literatura?
I understood a small part of that.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, you said my mom was a music professor and my
Yes.
dad was a photographer.
Yes.
You said my music was influenced a lot by literature, right?
Yeah.
I think that books, poems, films, I really love taking them in and then writing songs inspired by that.
E você continua lendo?
Yes. Yeah, all the time. And it's good. It's good. I fly a lot, so I could read a lot on airplanes. Yeah, I think that it feels very interactive when you read because you're such a big part of it, and you get to kind of work with these great authors that maybe lived 100 or 200 years before you, but you could have this moment with them in your own time because you're helping complete their work with your imagination.
Yeah, great. Please,
Okay.
the first for us.
Come and open up your folding chair next to me. My feet are buried in the sand, and there's a breeze. There's a shadow, you can't see my eyes. And the sea is just a wetter version of the skies. Let's get a silver bullet trailer and have a baby boy.
I'll safety pin his clothes all cool and you'll graffiti up his toys. I got a perfect body, but sometimes I forget I got a perfect body, 'cause my eyelashes catch my sweat. Yes, they do, they do. Now I've been sitting on this abandoned beach for years, waiting for the salty water to cover up my ears. But every time the tide come in and take me home, I get scared. Now I'm sitting here alone, dreaming of the dolphin song. Maybe one day you will understand I don't want nothing from you but sweetly hold your hand. Till that day, just please don't be so down. Don't make frowns, you silly clown. Just come and open up your folding chair next to me. My feet are buried in the sand, and there's a breeze. There's a shadow, you can't see my eyes. And the sea is just a wetter version of the skies. There's a shadow, you can't see my eyes. There's a shadow, you can't see my
Thank you.
It's okay for you? The piano?
It's loud. It's too loud. The piano, maybe we could turn it down some, but it's okay.
Okay, you're gonna.
Yeah.
Okay, you're born in Johannesburg, yes, that's right, and you're born in Moscow, in Russia, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Que tipo, o que é que você ouvia quando você morava na África do Sul? O que é que você ouvia quando você morava em Moscou, não é? Que de alguma maneira ajudaram a vocês quererem ir para a música.
I grew up in a musical household. At least there was always music playing, so that was probably the biggest part, wherever I lived in the world, because my family moved around quite a bit. I heard a lot of music, whether it was from there or from the other side of the earth, from where I was. It was certainly a big part of my life, the music in Africa, from all over Africa, and my family certainly indulged me with that. So I think any sound, even, not only music, even the windscreen wipers, has an effect on the music that I make, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had like similar, my parents were really good about music and always having music in the house, and we had basically three kinds of music. We had a ton of classical music, and a bunch of illegal Beatles, Queen, and Moody Blues cassette tapes. That was my dad. He was very much into collecting tapes and trading tapes. There was this big scene in USSR of doing that, and so I knew all that stuff before I learned English. And then as I was learning English, I'd be like, oh, that's what they're saying. And especially with the Beatles, because everything is pronounced different. I thought words were like, happy to get a you know, and you're like, oh wait, happy together. And then also the third kind of music was there's these incredible bards, and they basically were poets who played guitar, and they would write a lot of very dark, very a lot about World War II. Kind of greatest was this actor, a stage actor. He was considered to be the greatest Hamlet in Russia. What that means is very different, I guess, because it's a translation. But his name is Vladimir Vysotsky, and he had this very gruff, deep voice, and he wrote so passionately about World War II that he would get letters from veterans because they thought he had served with them. And he would just make up these stories, but they had happened to people. So those are the three kinds of music I grew up with, and I think they all influenced me, probably.
Спасибо.
На здоровье.
Qual
And he would just make up these stories, but they had happened to people. So those are the three kinds of music I grew up with, and I think they all influenced me, probably.
Спасибо.
Na zdrowie.
Qual foi a primeira vez que vocês ouviram o som um do outro?
Well, I heard Regina on the radio a few years ago. I know I was in Virginia at the time, which is mid-Atlantic state in the U.S. I don't want to assume everybody knows where it is, but you probably do. Know your geography better than I do. But, and I played it, my daughters, who were, at the time, I guess they were 7, they're good judges of music and honest, and they really loved it too. So I've been a fan since then.
Oh, wow. I was expecting to say that. I'm sure you just heard me just now for the first time, and I heard you, like, I grew up listening, you know, so, and on the radio and on television and in the surrounding, I guess, New York, because that's where I was, so that's where I heard you.
Dave, você é uma pessoa muito tranquila, bem-humorada, relaxada, tranquila, né? Você sempre foi assim, e no palco sempre foi assim?
Well, in my head, it's like 1,000 screaming people. But I think I've always had a somewhat the appearance of calm on the outside. I was nearly hit by a bus once, and a friend of mine said that when I walked away, and even during the near miss, I looked as if I was just shooing a fly off my face. But inside, I was having a heart attack, much like I'm having right now.
Okay. One more, please.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Hope my hand works.
Satellite in my eyes, like a diamond in the sky. How I wonder, satellite, strong from the moon, and you're the world, your balloon, peeping Tom for the mother station. Winter's cold, spring races, and the calm away by the storm is chasing, and everything good needs replacing. Look up, look down, all around, satellite. Satellite headlines read someone's secrets you've seen, eyes and ears have been. Satellite dish in my yard, tell me more, tell me more. Who's the king of your satellite castle? Winter's cold, spring races, and the calm away by the storm is rest high above the cloud, no restriction, television, we bounce round the world. And while I spend these hours, five senses reeling, I laugh about this weatherman's satellite eyes. Satellite in my eyes, like a diamond in the sky. How I wonder, satellite strong from the moon, and the world your balloon, peeping Tom for the mother station. Winter's cold, spring races, and the calm away by the storm is chasing, and everything good needs replacing. Look up, look down, all around, satellite. Rest high above the cloud, no restrictions, television, we bounce round the world. And while I spend these hours, five senses reeling, I laugh about you, weatherman, satellite eyes.
Your last CD? Yes?
That's the last one.
Last one, yes. It's a double.
It's long.
Ok. Regina, sei que você fala muitas línguas. Eu queria que você falasse quais são essas línguas. Você sonha em que língua? E você, quando compõe, mistura todas essas línguas ou não?
Well, I wish I spoke many languages. I really only speak well two languages, Russian and English, and those I'm fluent. And I think the dream depends what dream I'm having. If it's a Russian dream or an English dream, and then the other languages that I could read and understand, but I'm too. I was talking about that with a friend last night. You know, when you're so close to language, you could kind of guess and almost you could say something, but then, you know, all I end up knowing is how to order an omelet or, you know, say hi. But the other two languages that I could read and understand more are Hebrew and French.
Mm-hmm. Hebrew.
Yeah. But actually the Hebrew that I understand more, it's more the biblical Hebrew. So I guess I could talk maybe badly to a Jew from like 2,000 years ago.
Oh, yes. Shalom Aleichem. Ok. Eu queria que você falasse um pouco da sua experiência no cinema. As coisas que eu vi sempre foram muito especiais, muito interessantes, muito engraçadas. Eu queria saber se você vai continuar a fazer também cinema.
Well, I enjoy scaring myself, so I do things that seem terrifying, and then I regret them while they're happening, but then afterwards it feels good, which is probably why I'm here. I've done a few, usually very small parts in some movies, and mostly stuff with Adam Sandler, and that's because he calls me on the phone and says, "Hey, buddy, what are you doing next Tuesday? Why don't you come over and be in a movie? Yeah. Would you mind if, you know," then he'll give me some foolish thing to do, and I enjoy him. I enjoy his company, and so I'll do that. Maybe someday I'll try doing something serious, just because it seems scary, and I don't think I could do it. So I will.
One more, please.
Oh, one more song. Okay, I understand.
stumbled into faith and thought, God, this is all there is. The pictures in his mind arose and began to breathe, and all the gods and all the worlds began colliding on a backdrop of blue. Blue lips, blue veins. He took a step but then felt tired. He said, I'll rest a little while. But when he tried to walk again, he wasn't a child. And all the people hurried past real fast, and no one ever smiled. Blue lips, blue veins, blue, the color of our planet from far, far away. Blue lips, blue veins, blue, the color of our planet from far, far away. He stumbled into faith and thought, God, this is all there is. The pictures in his mind arose and began to breathe, and no one saw, no one heard. They just followed the lead. The pictures in his mind awoke and began to breed. They started off beneath the knowledge tree, then they chopped it down to make up picket fences, and marching along the railroad tracks, they smiled real wide for the camera lenses. They made it past the enemy lines just to become enslaved in the assembly lines. Blue lips, blue veins, blue, the color of our planet from far, far away. Blue lips, blue veins, blue, the color of our planet from far, far away. Blue, the most human color. Blue, the most human color. Blue, the most human color. Blue lips, blue veins, blue, the color of our planet from far, far away.
Obrigado.
Muito bem. Festival que prega a sustentabilidade. E agradecer especialmente aos dois. A segunda parte daqui a pouquinho para vocês. Bom, e agora a gente vai para a segunda parte do show que tivemos o privilégio de ter aqui com o Dave Matthews e a Regina Spektor. Vamos lá. Vocês dois vêm de países onde a questão política ela foi grave, não é? Na África do Sul, com o apartheid, e na antiga União Soviética, com as perseguições, inclusive você de origem judaica. Eu queria saber se, em função disso, a política ela é importante na vida de vocês como reflexão, não necessariamente na música, ou isso passou e é só a música que interessa a vocês?
I think, well, at the time that I was in South Africa, I was a white person, which is, at that time, gave me a lot of advantages. But I grew up with a mother and a father for some of that time that were very aggressive in a quiet way that I didn't notice in teaching us that how important it was to realize that blaming someone or judging someone for something they were born with or for something they believe without imposing it on you is probably the greatest crime we can commit against each other, and how we respond to that. And so growing up in South Africa for part of my life was very it was sort of difficult to be on top, but you know, I can't say that I understood what it was like to be on the bottom. I just knew that it was wrong. And about political, if politics has influence on us, I think it's essential if we want to guide our planet in a positive direction to be as aware of the events all over the world, and to be aware of what our leaders are doing inside of that, and how they're participating, and how they're representing us. I think in recent history, the U.S. has behaved appallingly all over the world, and I want to say I'm sorry, but I don't think that'll change anything. But there's goodness in there too, and I think we can hopefully guide it in a good direction in our lives.
Yeah, what he said. Yeah, I think that, I mean, I always think of myself as very lucky being an immigrant and having, and coming from a place that had such tremendous anti-Semitism, and being a Jew, because I think that, you know, you sort of, if you have that kind of a story, and you're pretty much in the same boat as everybody in the whole rest of the world. So I feel like when I'm in, you know, growing up, starting from 10 years old in the Bronx, and everybody that surrounded me, everybody, wherever they came from, had a very similar story, and everybody was coming to the America, the positive America, you know, not the America that, there's two Americas. The America that's in the real world that does really bad things, and then the ideal America that is a symbol to a lot of places in the world, of a place where you could come if you've been oppressed, and you could start again, and you can blend in, and you can be your own free individual, and yet be a part of everything. And that was a wonderful experience for me when I immigrated to, you know, to hear, you know, I think everybody, if somebody said you know, something about Jews in Russia, people, it was always negative, and it was kind of like even a dirty word. And then I think I remember seeing the shock on my parents' faces when they saw people in the subway with like a kippah, and people were just proud and able to be themselves. So that was very exciting, and I think I learned a lot by going through it, just about what is possible in the world. And so I'm very grateful for that. But I think as far as in music, I haven't found a way, because I think to me, like, songs, they just kind of happen, and they feel like I write when I'm inspired, and I can't ever sit down. And sometimes I want to write about some, you know, political thing, but instead I end up writing about, you know, I don't know, dolphins. And so I think I think to me, things, my personality and my beliefs, they come through, but also other things come through in the music. So it's not like I've been able to be a political artist, but I think of myself as a political person.
Can I also say one thing, just in response to hearing you talk about America, that in my experience living in America, although I get critical about our politics, I do think that I'm absolutely the most at home there, and I feel a connection to people there in a way that is non-judgmental and is hopeful. Like you said, I think there are two very distinct events happening in America. Yeah. And I really am grateful for the part of that is beautiful and open and accepting and hopeful.
Yeah, and it's important.
I think there are two very distinct events happening in America.
Yeah.
And I really am grateful for the part of that is beautiful and open and accepting and hopeful.
Yeah, and it's important. I think it's one of those things where it's like it's so important. I think like as an immigrant, like it took me a really long time to be able to criticize America, because a lot of my friends who are born there, they were able to, you know, America's this, America's that, and I would sort of walk around kind of laughing at them, thinking, well, I mean, you don't have, you know, you didn't have style, you know, you didn't grow up with things where like you say the wrong thing and all of a sudden somebody knocks on your door and the next day you have disappeared, which is like what I grew up listening to. So to me it was just kind of I thought of it as a joke, but then I think when you get more comfortable and you start to feel at home, it does come with America, that moment where, okay, I'm at home here, but things are really messed up here, and I'm not just, you know, it's not just the ideal. There are so many terrible things, especially with all these wars that are just ridiculous, and there are so many people that really are fighting it. So I think it's kind of part of our job to walk around and say we're sorry. But so yeah, I think that it is important to not just be cynical, because that makes you, I don't know, I think it makes you like not able to do things that are productive if you just walk around like America sucks, you know. But I also, and so I agree with Dave where, you know, I you know, you could criticize it, you could want it to be better, but it's still, there's still such a hopeful feeling, and you see the potential for what it could be, and I feel so at home there too, and it's just, I just want it to be what it can be.
Muito bem. Muito bom.
Cyrus Jones, 1810 to 1913, made his great-grandchildren believe you could live to 103. 103 is forever when you're just a little kid. So Cyrus Jones lived forever. Grave digger, when you dig my grave, could you make it shallow so that I can feel the rain? Grave digger, Muriel Stonewall, 1903 to 1954. She lost both of her babies in the Second Great War. Now you should never have to watch as your only children are lowered in the ground. I mean, never have to bury your own babies. Grave digger, when you dig my grave, could you make it shallow so that I can feel the rain? Grave digger, ring around the rosy, pocket full of posy, ashes to ashes. We all fall down. Grave digger, when you dig my grave, could you make it shallow so that I can feel the rain? Grave digger. Oh, little Mikey Carson, 67 to 75, he rode his bike like the devil until the day he died. When he grows up, he wants to be Mr. Vertigo on the flying trapeze. Or 1940 to 1992, grave digger, when you dig my grave, could you make it shallow so that I can feel the rain? Oh, grave digger, when you dig my grave, could you make it shallow so that I can feel the rain? I can feel the rain, I can feel the rain. Grave digger, when you dig my grave, could you make it shallow so that I can feel the rain?
anchor.
Obrigado. Esse aqui. Obrigado. Esse aqui é o seu último. Aqui é melhor. CD, não é? E já está vindo mais um. É isso, né?
Yes, yes, it is a first ever, my first ever live record that I ever made.
Agora, o que eu queria perguntar para os dois é o seguinte: eu acredito que todo o jornalista do país onde vocês vão deve fazer a mesma pergunta, que é a respeito do país onde a gente mora, do Brasil. Se vocês já tiveram tempo, ou tem tempo de conhecer alguma coisa da cultura, do esporte, da política do nosso país, ou essa vida de vocês acordarem e nem saberem onde estão por causa da correria, faz com que vocês não consigam interpretar um país de uma maneira interessante. The food, the bad words.
Well, I can't recall the bad words. You told me some, but earlier. But certainly, I've eaten some delicious food down here. I want to drink the local beverages. I may have had too many of them last night, and so I was a little shaky earlier. But I think I've come to. I'm not really. I couldn't pretend that I'm very aware of the political situation here, but I do. I've spoken to different people, and certainly have noticed that there's an active political. There's a lot of active political beliefs going on. Yeah. I think I've met people from all sides, or at least that appears to be who I've met. And for me, the most important thing is to listen to some local music, and we went out in Rio, and we went to see Carlos Malta, who is a wonderful musician, and Gabriel Grossi plays a harmonic. Is that, get it right? He's fantastic. We saw some great music, and I'm a big fan of Seu Jorge. How do I say it?
Seu Jorge.
Seu Jorge, yeah. Yes. I keep saying every time I talk to anyone. I just
Seu,
like it.
Seu is Mr.
Yeah, Mr. George.
Yes.
Mr. George. It's a nice name. I like that. I'm going to name my next kid Mr. George.
Well, I have to agree with you on the drinks last night thing, too. One caipirinha, two caipirinha, three caipirinha. They're very, very, very good, and too good, and too strong. But I'd like to have more time here. I definitely don't have enough time to feel like I really, like a tourist, But I sort of have to comfort myself about that, because I get really upset, especially because I have a band, and they get to be tourists, and then I'll do the day of promotion and the things by myself, and they'll come back and they'll say, oh, we went here and we saw that and we ate there, and then I'm having, my third meal at the hotel room service, being like, this, But I just have to tell myself that a lot of it is, the pleasure of being here for music. I just think that's like the most cool thing that could ever happen. I mean, I never thought I would be coming here and playing my music for people here. So that's why I'm here. And, I'll just have to write down some places to come see next time when I'm here for a real vacation. But this time I'm just here for music, so I'm happy about it.
Okay. One more, please. Instead, they call you Regina?
No. No. They call me Regina.
Oh, yes.
In England, sometimes in England they call me Regina. Yeah. But it sounds like a dirty word.
I never loved nobody fully. Always one foot on the ground. by protecting my heart truly. I got lost in the sounds I hear in my mind. All of these voices I hear in my mind. All of these words I hear in my mind. All of this music, and it breaks my heart, and it breaks my heart, and it breaks my heart, and it breaks my heart. Suppose I never ever met you. Suppose we never fell in love. Suppose I never ever let you kiss me so sweet and so soft. Suppose I never ever saw you. Suppose you never ever called. Ooh, suppose I kept on singing love songs just to break my own fall, just to break my fall, just to break my fall, just to break my fall, break my fall, break my fall. All my friends say that of course it's gonna get better, gonna get better, 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 better. I never loved nobody fully. Always one foot on the ground. And by protecting my heart truly, I got lost in the sounds I hear in my mind. All of these voices I hear in my mind. All of these words I hear in my mind. All of this music, and it breaks my heart, and it breaks my heart. I hear in my mind. All of these voices I hear in my mind. All of these words I hear in my mind. All of this music, and it breaks my heart, 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 and it breaks my heart.
Muito bem. Thank you very much.
Obrigado.
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 Foi um prazer, uma honra para a gente receber vocês. Espero que numa outra oportunidade vocês voltem ao Brasil. Espero que vocês se divirtam aqui com o nosso povo que gosta do som de vocês. Muito obrigado.
Thank you.